Okay, fine. Okay. So basically, yeah, the control source means by using some control circuitry, we will be able to control the source or some circuits like temperature sensing circuit or temperature controlled circuit. For example, if the temperature goes beyond a particular threshold value, some sort of system should active, which will be able to switch on the fan or switch on the AC like that. Okay, if it is going below the threshold, means you can off the fan automatically. So likewise, some sort of control circuitry should be there, or the source is going to control the load, isn't it? So for that also we need to have some pre-terminal devices. So mainly it is acting as a controlling circuit. It may act as a switch also. The switch means either it will get on or it will get off. That depends on the conditions. Okay, it can be an automatic switch or it can be a manual switch also. That is by giving according to some inputs, the switch, the circuit will get connected with respect to the source or it will get disconnected with respect to the source. That is what is known as switch. Okay, manually if you're owning the switch, what will happen? Circuit will be closed and some sort of current will be flowing from source to load, isn't it? Suppose you are owning, switch on the fan, means what happens? The source is getting connected with respect to load. Load is nothing but your fan. Okay, so in between a switch is going to control the operation of current flow. So either the switch can be on or it can be off. But for this purpose, if it is going to be an automatic switch, means you need to have some three-terminal devices to control the operation of switch. So these are all the applications of three-terminal devices like transistors. So the main applications are one is the controlled source, second one is switch, third one is amplifier, fourth one is memory. So these are all the conventional applications of any three-terminal device, which is an indispensable part of an IC. Okay, so inside an IC, you are going to fabricate these transistors. At any cost, you need to have some transistors inside the ICs. Okay. Now, basically, you're going to have two transistors. Okay, you're going to have two types of transistors or two types of three-terminal devices. So one is the metal oxide field effect transistor and second one is bipolar junction transistor. Okay, I repeat, microelectronics is a branch of electronics which is dealing with ICs. So inside the ICs, we are having a numerous number of circuits fabricated on under one single silicon chip. Okay, so in that particular IC, the most important part is a three-terminal device. So we can have this three-terminal device for n number of applications. The main applications are controlled source, the memory, can act as what to say, the amplifier, or it can act like a switch also. Okay, these are the conventional applications. And out of these three-terminal devices, we are going to deal with the two types of three-terminal devices like MOSFET and BJT. So MOSFET is metal oxide field effect transistor, and second one is BJT is bipolar junction transistor. Now, slide is not changing. Let me stop share the content once more and try to. Okay. Now, next slide is advantages of MOSFET. Okay. So I told you there are two types of MOSFET. One is BJT and second one is MOSFET. So out of this, we are going to focus BJT, MOSFET rather than BJT in this particular subject. Okay, because MOSFET is going to have some its own advantages. The main advantages of MOSFET as it is being listed over here. One important advantage is it requires less area. What happens if less area? Less area means you can fabricate more hardware under one single chip, under one silicon wafer. You will be able to fabricate more circuits. Okay, so more circuit you can fabricate under one silicon chip. So that's the advantage of using MOSFETs, because MOSFET will consume less area only. Okay, so more devices can be fabricated. Second advantage is the manufacturing processes require, it is relatively very simple. That is how we are going to manufacture the MOSFET. So that is going to be relatively very simple when compared to the conventional BJTs. Okay, that is bipolar junction transistors are seldom used when compared to MOSFET. Okay, because MOSFET has got its own advantages. Another advantage is it requires comparatively less power. What happens if more power is acquired or more power is delivered means unwanted power dissipation will happen, isn't it? So power consumption is more, it is getting more. So that is unwanted for the electronic products is concerned. So whenever we are going to design any electronic product, the designers are trying to minimize the power dissipation, because the electricity like cost wise or energy wise we need to conserve all these things. So power dissipation has to be minimized, or power consumption has to be minimized. So for that, this MOSFET has got its own advantage. The main advantage is here we are going to reduce the power. It requires less power for its operation. Okay. Another advantage is this MOSFET, it can deal with both analog as well as digital signals. Okay, you know what is the difference between analog and digital? Okay, analog is nothing but that continuously time varying signal, like whatever the KSEB is producing or electricity board is applying, that is what is known as continuous time signal or analog signal. Digital means we will be converting this analog to digital and storing in particular memories, isn't it? Whatever we are storing in this DVDs or whatever you are storing in the CD players, ROM, everything in your mobile phone memory is there, flash memory is there. So in that and all, we are trying to store it in digital. So we need to convert this analog into digital, isn't it? So basically in day-to-day life, we are dealing with both analog as well as digital signal. So both the kind of signals it can deal with the conventional MOSFET. So that is the advantage of using MOSFETs. Understood? So the main advantage of MOSFET is that it can use both analog as well as digital signal. That is what is known as mixed signal processing. So it supports mixed signal processing. Hope you are here. Hope you are audible. It is audible, no? One of you can respond. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Thank
screen
you.
is not showing up, sir.
What is the screen? Oh, screen is not visible.
No, sir.
Okay. Let me share once more. If you have any doubts at that particular point of time, you can stop me and ask. Okay, no issues. Now, is it visible my screen? Now it is visible now.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't put the slideshow because once I put slideshow, the slide transition is not working. Okay. So later I will share the slides. No issues. You can go through that. The notes and slides I will share you once after each class or once after the completing one module I will share, because in between we need to do some sort of problem. So without notes we won't be able to proceed with the numerical problem. So before that and all, I will be sharing the notes. No issues. Okay. Hope the screen is now visible for you. Yeah. So these are the advantages of MOSFET, whatever I have mentioned till now. That is require small area. The manufacturing process is quite simple, and all the operations it is require comparatively less power. Okay, the power dissipation is quite less. Another advantage is it will support both analog as well as digital signals. It means both analog as well as digital operations can be performed by using MOSFET. So these are the main advantages. So that's why we are using MOSFET in place of BJTs. So when we are concerned with integrated circuits, mostly we will be using these MOSFETs inside the IC. Okay, so this is a basic structure of MOSFET. So as you can see from this figure, this is a MOSFET device structure, which is NMOS. See the figure label. This is NMOS. NMOS means N-channel MOSFET. Okay, NMOS is nothing but N-channel MOSFET, as it is mentioned here. N-channel E-MOSFET. E-MOSFET is enhancement MOSFET. Okay. Now when this NMOSFET is concerned, the device structure, it consists of a P-type substrate. As you can see in this particular figure, the main portion is a P-type substrate. Okay, so to this P-type substrate, we are going to diffuse two N regions. Okay, so these are the two N regions. So this is a basic main substrate, that is P-type substrate, which is acting as a body. Substrate is otherwise known as body. Okay, so to this we are going to diffuse two N-type semiconductors, or is acting as source and drain. So from these two N regions, through a metal contact, see, you can see some sort of black terminal, black shown terminals. So that is nothing but your metal contacts. So from this metal contacts, you are taking the source and drain. Again, from the body, you are taking another terminal again to a metal contact, which is labeled as body. Okay, so from this figure, it is obvious that it is having four. That is source, gate, drain, and body. You're having four terminals, but still this body is going not. It is not at all used, or it is very rarely used in some applications. So it is known as three-terminal device. Even though the MOSFET is having four terminals like body, source, gate, and drain, but this body it will not use, or we will not consider this terminal in many applications. Rarely only it will be using. Okay. So anyway, it is going to be considered as three terminals. And again, from this channel, I have taken another metal contact. From this, I have taken the gate terminal. And beneath this particular gate terminal, you have a dashed line. See, the dashed line is known as silicon oxide. Okay, SiO2 layer or oxide layer, which is having a particular thickness. That is TOX, where TOX is the thickness of the oxide layer. So this is basically the device structure. I'll repeat, the three terminals are source, gate, and drain. So whenever you're going to fabricate an N-channel MOSFET, you have to take a P-type substrate. Initially, you need to take the P-type substrate. To this P-type substrate, you're going to diffuse the two N plus regions. Okay, two N plus regions, and that's two N regions on either side. And from that, you will be taking the source and drain terminals respectively. And from the channel, you will be taking the gate terminal. And below the gate terminal, you're having an SiO2 layer, which is acting as an oxide layer. So this is basically the insulator. Okay, oxide is nothing but the insulator. So actually, this SiO2 layer will be isolating the gate from the channel. What do you mean channel? Channel is nothing but this region, the region that is between these two N regions. Okay, the region that you can see between the two N regions on either side, that is what is known as channel region. So what type of channel is it? It is N channel. Okay, so it is inducing some N type channel later, that I will discuss later. So anyway, you can keep it in mind that if you're taking an N MOSFET, the channel will be N and the substrate will be P. So even though you're using the substrate as P-type substrate, yet you are going to create an N channel. Okay, by using P-type substrate, you are going to create an N channel between the two N regions which are diffused on the either side. So that is why it is known as N-channel MOSFET or NMOS. Okay, shortly it is called as NMOS. And you can see that the channel length is represented by capital L. Now, so this is basically, this is case one. I mean, okay. Now going to the operation. So I have discussed the device structure now. Now we are going to deal with how this MOSFET works. Clear now? Till this point, it is clear now. Any doubts you have, you can ask. So till now, what we have done, we have studied what is the advantages of MOSFET over BJT and what is its working. Okay, I mean, what is its device structure, how it can be constructed. Okay, now we are going for the working, how the MOSFET is going to work. So here, the working of the MOSFET will consist of 4 different cases. Okay, so daily you are going to study this. Understood? Daily you are going to follow this. If any difficulties, you can personally you can ask, or in group also you can ask, no issues. Okay, so daily you have to follow up, then only you will be able to track with this particular subject. Okay, then it is not going to be very difficult thing, it is going to be very easy for you, you can pass it. Okay, the supplementary semester itself you can clear this particular subject, no issues. So basically the operation of this MOSFET is going to be different in different cases. Okay, you are going to deal with this in 4 different cases. The first case is with the no gate voltage. As I told you, you're having 3 terminals, gate, source, and drain. You're having 3 terminals, nothing but gate, source, and drain. So as far as a gate is concerned, you can apply a particular voltage to the gate, or else you don't need to apply some voltage like that. Okay, so case 1, you are not going to apply any voltage. That is the first case. Okay, so in the case 1, what you are going to do, you are not going to apply any voltage. So VGS is equal to 0 volt. Case 2, what you will do is, you are going to apply some positive gate voltage and see how it will work. Understood? That is case 2. So what you will do is, you are not going to apply any voltage to the gate terminal. Secondly, you will be applying a positive gate voltage. Thirdly, what you will do is, you will be going to apply a voltage across the drain source. VDS means you're going to apply a battery between D and S. D and S means drain and source. Okay. Case 4, what you will do is, you will be slowly increasing this VDS, keeping VGS as positive. That is, you are going to retain this case 2 and then you are applying case 3 and case 4. Got the difference? I'll repeat. Case 1, you are not going to apply any voltage to the gate. It is kept opened means it is left as such. We are not going to give any voltage to the gate source terminals. Secondly, we are applying a positive voltage to the gate. Okay. Thirdly, what you will do is retaining that voltage. Thirdly, we are going to keep another battery across D and S, means drain and source will be putting a battery. And case 4, you are going to increase this VDS to a large value. In case 3, you are applying only small VDS. And in case 4, what you will do is you are going to increase this VDS very slowly, and we will see how this MOSFET will work. And why we are studying this? Because this is having very large applications in what? Control circuitry, isn't it? In all the electronic devices nowadays, it has gone for automation. So you will have some automatic controlling systems there. So for that, you will have to use some MOSFETs, switching purposes, amplification purposes, memory devices. You can't imagine any electronic devices without any memory. Even if you take the phone also, even if you take the digital television or digital camera, whatever the digital devices what we are using nowadays, it is having memory. So for that memories, to construct memory, we need to access these MOSFETs, either NMOS or PMOS. So for that only, we are trying to define how those operations or how this working of MOSFET is going to be performed. Now coming to the next slide, case 1. Okay, so first working case 1 with no gate voltage means we are not going to apply any voltage. Understood? We are not going to apply any voltage to the gate terminal. Yeah, I may not see the chat. If you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and ask doubts. Okay, no issues. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the doubts. No issues. Now you are able to share the, see the screen also now. Pavan, Bhavani, now you are able to see the screen, right?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
it's visible.
Okay. Now, so here now what you will do is we are not going to apply any voltage to the gate. So what will happen is this entire circuit or this entire transistor will not work. Okay. If you are not going to give any voltage means this is not going to work. It is of no use actually. So gate is nothing but, see, you can imagine how a gate will work. Normally, if you have a gate in your home or if you have a gate at your college, it will control the flow of what? The flow of passengers, or it will control the flow of vehicles in and out of your house or in and out of your college, isn't it? Or it will control the that is the walking people. Suppose a person want to get into your home, your gate has to open. Otherwise, he has to go for some other alternative methods to enter into home, isn't it? So like that, this gate is going to control the entire things. That is control the flow of people in and out of the that home or college or institution, whatever it may be. So like that, assume that here also you are having a gate terminal which is going to control the working of this particular transistor. So to make this particular transistor to work or this MOSFET to work properly, see, I can call this MOSFET as transistor also. Okay, see that in this throughout this subject, we are not going to deal with the transistor. Conventional transistors, we are not dealing with. We are dealing with MOSFET only. But this MOSFET, it comes under transistor category, transistor family. So even if you call this MOSFET as transistor, also no issues. Okay, so whenever I specify like transistor, it is nothing but MOSFET only, and it is not BJT. Okay, it is not a conventional transistor, it is a MOSFET. So without applying any voltage, it is not having no use. It will not perform any control function. Okay, control functions, it is not going to perform any operation. You need to give a suitable voltage at the gate terminal. It can be positive or it can be negative. That depends. Understood? That depends upon the type of MOSFET you have chosen for the particular application. So case 1 means there is no working for that. It will remain as such. Okay, that is no current flow will take place. So whenever there is a current through the transistor, then only you can use that particular transistor in some applications, isn't it? So here, as of now, there is no current flow through the transistor. Why? Because the gate is opened. The gate is left open. Means there is no voltage applied to the gate. It means the current is not going to pass through the transistor. You know that current will be flowing through the device only if the device is short circuited. Right? If the device is open means what will happen? If the device is open means it is not going to conduct any, it is not going to conduct any sort of currents through that. Okay, so current should flow only if current will flow through the circuit only if the particular circuit is short circuited. So that can be controlled by using the voltage applied at the gate. So as of now, I have not applied any voltage to the gate, means your transistor is open circuit, means there is no current flow through the transistor. It cannot be operated in any application with this particular case. That is with respect to case 1. Now I'm going to the next slide, that is case 2. So in case 2, what you're going to do is we are going to apply a positive gate voltage. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to apply a positive gate voltage, that is case 2. So as you can see in this, here see, this is your gate, this terminal is gate. So this gate is applied to a battery. This is battery, and the battery's positive terminal is connected to gate, and meanwhile the negative terminal is grounded. Okay, this means that the gate is the gate is connected to positive voltage and source is connected to low voltage. You know the ground is 0, isn't it? Ground voltage, earth is nothing but 0 volt. So you are going to connect a positive voltage to the gate. And meanwhile, you are not using this drain and source. You can see from either side, you can see the drain and source you are not using. This kept at ground only. This earth or is grounded, that is 0 volt is assigned to drain and source. Meanwhile, some positive voltage is going to apply at the gate. Okay. See, after 10 minutes, this particular meeting will get expired, and later I will be sending a second link in the WhatsApp group. You can rejoin the second link after 6:40. Okay. Another 10 minutes, we will be continuing with this particular session. After that, immediately you can join with the second link. I will be sharing the second link in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so as you can see, what happens is a positive voltage is applied to the gate. Then what will happen is this positive voltage is attracted by electrons. Positive will be attracted by what? Negative. Negative charge is nothing but electrons. Where you can see electrons? Electrons will be in the p-type substrate. You can understood that p-type substrate is having both electrons and holes, isn't it? But the majority carrier will be holes only. But minority carrier, there will be some sort of electrons. These electrons, what it will do is these electrons it get collected under this gate, because to this gate I have applied a high positive voltage, which is acting as a control voltage. You know that gate is going to control the entire device. Gate is going to control the current through the entire device. So by applying a positive voltage at the gate, what happened is electrons from the p-type substrate, they get attracted towards the gate and they get settled down beneath this particular terminal. Under the silicon dioxide layer, you can now see a slab, isn't it? This is nothing but a layer of electron. This layer is known as channel. This layer is known as channel. Okay, the channel is of length L. How does this happen? Only after the application of positive gate voltage. In the previous case, you didn't have that, isn't it? The channel was empty. You didn't induce any channel here. Why? Because there is no gate voltage. But whenever you apply a positive gate voltage, in that case only you got a channel, and the channel length is L. And what channel is that? The channel is of N channel. N channel means it is having electrons. How electrons came there? Because electrons have been attracted by the positive gate voltage applied at the gate terminal. Understood? Because of that only you got an N channel below the gate whose length is L. Now, what is this? What is this? This is depletion layer. This is what is known as depletion layer. What is this depletion layer is because you know that in the p-type substrate, what you have, the main character, the majority carriers is holes. You know the fundamentals, isn't it? P stands for positive. So p-type substrate, the majority carriers are positive only. Whatever the negative carriers you have, it got attracted towards the gate. But there will be remaining positive, isn't it? There will be a remaining positive, n number of holes will be there. These n number of holes, their charge is positive. Positive and positive, it will get repelled, isn't it? Like charges will repel, unlike charges will attract. So the charge carriers, the positive charge carriers present in this p-type substrate, they will repel because of this positive voltage. because of this positive gate voltage, whatever the poles present in the substrate, they will get repelled and they will move backward and they will settle down in this bottom portion only. Okay, so few region, this particular region, it will be devoid of any charges because initially there were charges, initially there were positive charges, but later what happened was that these positive charges was repelled because of this positive charge voltage applied at the gate. Okay, so they come down. Okay, so this white space, whatever I have shown here, white blank space, okay, that white region which is shown in this particular figure, it is known as depletion region. Understood? This is channel. This is channel. It is what channel it is? N channel it is. Why it is induced channel? Because originally there was not channel, as you can see in this previous figure, there was no channel. Later it induced. Induced means it was created purposefully. Isn't it? Only by applying a positive gate voltage, I was managed to create a new channel. That is what is known as induced channel. Okay. So I have created a channel. Also, I have formed a depletion region below this two end regions. Why it is known as depletion? Because it is depleted of or it is devoid of any free carriers. There are no free charges in that particular region. All the charges have moved downwards and accumulating near the body or this downward portion of substrate. Okay, so in this portion there is no charge. Why there is no charge? Because the charges which was present in that particular region was repelled by this positive voltage and it goes below. Okay, any doubts with respect to these two cases? You can ask any doubts with respect to these two cases. Clear now? I hope it is clear. Now going to the third case. Pavan, doubt? Hi, Sandeep.
No, sir.
Okay, fine.
No, sir. No, sir.
Good, good, good. Now, case 3. See, somewhere it is getting stuck.
Yes, a little. It's getting stuck.
Okay. Now, case 3, applying a small VDS. Now, what I will do is, I will be continuing with the case 2. Means case 2, I will be retaining. Okay, there is no change for case 2. Means I will retain the VGS. I will retain that VGS as such. See, I have kept this VGS as such. There is no change for VGS. Meanwhile, what I will do is, I will be keeping this VDS also. Earlier case, I didn't apply any voltage at drain and source. It was left open. But now what I did is, I have kept another battery at the drain. The battery's positive is connected at drain and the negative is connected at the ground. Similarly, the source is also ground. So from this figure, it is obvious that the drain voltage is more positive and source voltage is 0. Okay, so I'm applying a positive voltage at drain and meanwhile the source is 0. Okay, so which is having higher potential? Which is having higher potential? Drain is having higher voltage when compared to source. So whenever there exists a potential difference, what will happen? The current will flow. That is according to Ohm's law, isn't it? E proportional to I. If you are having a potential difference, means you will have a current flow through the device. That you can also experience, isn't it? You will have a 3-phase supply in your home or single-phase supply at your home. Then what you will do is you will touch your hand in one supply point or the phase point, and the other point or your leg will be in the ground. Means your body's two parts, it will set into a large potential difference. Then what will happen? The current will begin to flow. The current will be flowing through your body, and that will lead to shock. Okay, but at the same time, if the two potential points or if the 2 points are the same potential, means the difference is 0. There is no voltage. Voltage is nothing but potential difference. Please understand this. Voltage is nothing but potential difference. If you are having same voltage at the two ends, means what will happen? There is no difference. Potential difference is 0. Okay, if the potential at the 2 points are same, means difference is 0. If there is no difference, means there is no current. So always you have to maintain higher potential at the one end and lower potential or negative potential at the other end. So for that only I have kept this. Drain I have taken at positive and source I have taken at negative. So under this circumstance, what will happen is, see, you can see one arrow mark here. Some arrow mark I have shown here through the channel. That is ID. This is ID, that is drain current. So in this particular situation, a current will begin to flow through the device from drain to source. So that can be either called as drain current. That drain current is nothing but equal to source current because it is reaching at the source, isn't it? Actually, the current is flowing from drain to the source. Okay. Now you know the direction of current. Current is from higher potential to lower potential. Which terminal is at higher potential? Drain. Which terminal is at lower potential? Source. So current is flowing from drain to source. Okay. At the same time, what about the electron flow? Electron flow will be opposite to current. Electrons will be flowing from source to drain. Source is nothing but one who produces the carriers. So charge carriers are coming from the source. It is collecting by drain. So electrons are flowing from source to drain. At the same time, the current will be flowing from drain to source. So within, I think from within 30 minutes, 30 seconds, it will be disconnecting. And meanwhile, I will be sharing another link in your WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what is happening is the current will be flowing from drain to source. At the same time, the electron will be flowing from source to drain. So that is the direction of current I have mentioned here. See, meanwhile, what is IG? IG equal to 0. IG is gate current. There is no gate current, only